I want to start this video off talking about something that seems a little kind of on the serious side, and then kind of hopefully broaden the perspective of the conversation so it not make it not so serious. Last night, a guy was flirting with me, tried to tell me and a friend of mine that the reason I wouldn't give in to his advances is because I think I'm fat. And while he is like really ripped and like works out all the time, and that can be sort of intimidating when somebody that's really physically attractive flirts with you. Um, like my reason is for not giving in to his flirtations had nothing to do with my perception of myself and more about just my type of person and the way that I like to meet people. And so in the moment, it's sort of kind of insulting and a little bit like, it feels weird. It's almost like, I recognize that I've come a long way since like teenage version of Frankie. I've done a lot to like be a better, happier person and to get rid of all my insecurities and to like work on like who I am and how I perceive myself and whether or not I respond to how other people perceive me, and it relates to my weight and my body type and the scars on my head and my face and like everything about me, which I'm pretty sure we all do, and it's something we all go through, whether or not you are a person who is like considered to be physically attractive or not. Um, but and I'm giving this way more weight than it deserves. But it was just a fascinating thing for me to experience because I found myself kind of thinking about these things that I feel like I haven't thought about for years. And so I wanted to kind of comment on how it relates to this idea of qualia. And qualia is this idea, this thing, and back when I was a teenager, I also, for the first time, looked at something with a friend, and it was blue, and I was like, how do you know that we're both seeing the same blue? And he was like, because it's blue, and I was like, no, but like, we've been taught from birth that that color, that thing we're looking at, is blue, but there's no way for me to communicate to you that what I'm actually seeing. Like, maybe what I see is red, you see is blue, but because we've been calling it the same thing since birth, um, and it wasn't until a couple of years ago that someone introduced me to a Vsauce video, which I will link in the description because I love Vsauce. And it talked about this very idea, and I was shocked. I said, "Yes, this is the thing. This is what I've been talking about." And I think it relates to just our overall existence as people. Like, I can't communicate to you all of my experiences or the way I perceive something because of the series of events and the intervals of things that have brought me into being who I am. And it's the same for you, and it's the same for everyone else, and it's the same for anybody you run into. Like, we all have this, like, the way we've come to exist in this moment, and I would never look at somebody and say, no, like, you're supposed to respond to me this way right now. And so it's alarming when somebody looks me dead in the eye and is like, the only reason you won't accept my advances is because you think you're fat. And it's like, there's so many levels there. Like, you're trying to get into my head and have this determination about why I am who I am when you don't even really know me. And then you're also suggesting that just because you're fit, that I'm supposed to respond to you a certain way. And that's obviously not fair or not true. I don't really have a point to this video other than to say that I think it's I think we deserve for ourselves and for each other to give people the benefit of the doubt that everyone is coming to a moment as the best person that they are, and that they've got this like series of experiences that they're dealing with. And yes, people have moments of insecurity, and that should be okay. Like, you shouldn't even try and discredit my insecurities when you recognize them. Let me have them and understand that I'm doing my best to get over them, and there's almost nothing you can do to help me cross that border, which I think I have in so many ways, because the version of me that's making this video is definitely different than the version of me from like 4 or 5, 6 years ago. And I would hope that's the same for you and for whoever's in this moment together. You know what I mean? Anyway, it is Monday, March 28th. I hope whatever experiencing you're having is a spectacular one. Have a good day, and I will see you tomorrow. Coffee.